some Yo Mama jokes you saw online. Let's not. Okay. Comic book time. That's a good one, y'all. Okay, so we've got 2 weeks worth of comics to go through. It's a lot. It's a lot for me. I get a lot of comic books. Too many. Most people come in and they get like, max 5. I get like 20. It's crazy. What the hell? Ghost is all good. ASMR's not for everyone. I appreciate you stopping by and saying, hey man. Just so you know, Ghost, maybe I should make a, no, I'm not gonna, I was thinking about making a command for Mixer, because it seems like I'm gonna be spending some time on Mixer, at least once a week. Oh, we'll deal with that when we have to. Okay, where to start? I guess I'll start with this. Alright. Looks like I fucked up a little bit. These were sitting for like a week, real weird. Alright, this is the Magic Order. Number 1, this is the blank variant. So you can go and get this sketched or signed, or you can draw anything you want on it. It's a little tougher than a normal comic book cover, because it's meant to be drawn on, or written on. Magic Order. I'll talk about the Magic Order in a little bit when we get to the regular cover, because that cover's sweet. We've got a second printing for Amazing Spider-Man number 800. This is that 80-page monster of a book. Spidey has the Red Goblin. It's been a couple weeks, so I'm gonna give you the spoiler. Flash Thompson dies. He's the guy who plays Agent Venom, or in Amazing Spider-Man lately. He's been playing anti-Agent Venom. Next up is Wayward, number 25. I still have yet to read this. I like the covers. So, apparently it's like okay. I don't know. This is Wayward number 25. I like the other cover. Actually, I like the previous cover. I have it right here. They don't come out the same week, but I'll show you in a sec. I like the art. I like the inside art. I'm sure I'd enjoy it, but from what I hear, it's kind of mediocre. Okay, so this is Wayward 24. This is a cover swipe from Walking Dead, or it's like a Walking Dead themed. I'm not sure which cover it's trying to swipe, but it's a Walking Dead theme. It's got the Walking Dead font, Walking Dead colors. The pencils are very much like Walking Dead, but it's got Wayward characters in the theme of Walking Dead just for the cover. If it was the whole book, that'd be fantastic. I really like Walking Dead. It's very simple, very clean. Can you guys hear the nature sounds? Just let me know. Yes or no? No. God damn it. How about now? You're missing a lot of votes. We haven't voted in a while. Oops. Let me know how this sounds. Let me know if you can hear me over it. Okay, this is the second printing of Coda number 1. This cover this was interesting thing that came out 2 weeks ago. It's the second printing of Oblivion Song number 3. So Robert Kirkman, the guy who did The Walking Dead, Invincible, what's it called, Outcast, is doing this Oblivion Song. He said that there would be no second printings for issue number 1, that there would be plenty to go around, but he didn't say anything about issue 2, 3, 4, you know. Issue 2 doesn't have, it only has 1 printing. You can still get it. Issue 3 has 2 printings though. And I don't know why, but it's a different cover. I think it's just a color swap. Like the original cover was green or something. Not sure. I can't remember. That was a month ago. So Johan, did you participate in any of the mixer craze that happened last night? That was crazy. This is the third printing. Yeah, I think this is the third printing of Isola number 1. Johan, yo mama jokes are okay, but gay jokes really are not. So this is your warning. I love this cover. You kind of get these like sun. They go this way, yeah. Sun shafts. It looks super clean. Got the little tiger guy. It's actually a chick, but you know, it's a nice cover. When are we gonna get to new books? Holy shit! These are all second printings. This is the second printing of Isola number 2. The original was the same, except it was a black and blue tiger. This is, I think, just it's just black and it looks black and blue on the stream, but the stripes are actually just gray. It's like black and gray, and then the words are blue. Okay, new books, awesome. Johan, I highly suggest you go check out Mixer. It's an interesting format. Okay, good, because that was the one you had. What do you mean? This is the prelude to the wedding. Part 3 we've talked about, part 1 and 2. This is Batgirl versus the Riddler. Riddle me this, who's going to die alone? Look at her face. It's pretty weird. Hey camera, focus, please. There's my eyes. The wedding issue is actually in 2 weeks. Batman and Catwoman get married. Next we have The Cult of Blackfire, Batman Detective Comics, number 982. This is the start of a new arc since Batwoman got kicked out of the team. Yep, one of them dies. Batman or Catwoman? That's rude. I mean, Catwoman has her own series coming out soon, so she's probably not gonna die. I would imagine. Next up is actually a number 1. I didn't get a chance to read any of this week's books. Or this week. So 2 weeks in a row I haven't gotten a chance to read these books. The 1 week because I wasn't here, and then today because I just didn't have time. This is Hawkman number 1. Hawkman is back. It's alternative universe Catwoman. Let's get heroes here. Maybe. Maybe. Hawkman's back alive. He, after the events of Dark Knight's Metal, you know, he's basically immortal. He just keeps getting reborn. He's got his mace back and everything. It should be okay. This I'm interested to read because it has the Batman who laughs on the front cover. As far as we know, he died like 2 months ago. So I don't know why he's in this book, unless the timeline of how they released the book got screwed up, because they had to push Immortal Men back a couple months, because Metal got pushed back a couple months. But this is Immortal Men number 3, and that's the Batman Who Laughs. This is an ASMR video called River Campfire Nature Sounds by the Guild of Ambience. It's a great channel. They do a lot of ambient ASMR sounds, but sometimes they have like chatter. And while I like that kind of thing, it's not really for ASMR, at least for me. All right, next we have Mr. Miracle number 9. This book actually took a month off. It was supposed to come out last month, but didn't make it. So they pushed it back a month. Mr. Miracle has been fantastic so far. I'm a couple issues behind. I read up to number 6. And then I'm gonna wait till 12 and then reread the second half, the first, and then read the second half. It's only 12 books, so we've only got a couple more months. And this is the variant cover for Mr. Miracle number 9. As you can see, it's got the new DC kind of pseudo virgin cover. Just blam, ton of art. It's like in the form of a peace sign, you know, symbolism. Even though he's getting like blasted by some lasers. From what I hear, this book is fantastic, but I have yet to read it. Obviously, like I said, this is Plastic Man number 1, who is part of the Terrifics. He hasn't had his own book in like 30 years or some shit. Maybe sooner than that, but I can't remember exactly. Little caption bubble is this is not my idea of a party. It's like, what? What? They've got like metal rods and a plank of wood with like blood on it. Just like murdered some guy on the cover. Shade 3 and 4, okay. We can try and find them. Okay, next is Sideways, number 5. Enter Sideways at center stage, The Showman. It's a new villain. A lot of new villains in this series. If they ever make it to a movie or a different book, these books are going to spike in praise. I don't see them doing that though. Fucking Pickle Rick. Sideways is great. He's like DC's Spider-Man. Sideways, fake hero, fake news. Don't go sideways, just go away. There's a little doggy down here. Mad at Sideways. Because Mike came in, I didn't want him to complain to you about me reading on the floor. I would have told him to fuck off. I would have said that it was your book. Next, we have the I don't know if it's intentionally prideful, but this is Pride Month. This is Titans number 1. It's got the rainbow in the background, you know. But this is Titans Special number 1. It's actually a tie-in to the No Justice event that just wrapped up last month. Oh, I see. I thought you just like had them in your hand. The No Justice event was actually really cool, and Justice League has been fantastic. It's much less focused on Superman and Batman, and more on alternate characters. So it's really nice. You get more of the B-list characters, especially in No Justice. This is just a cover that I thought was pretty great. This is Neil Gaiman's has to do with, in terms of story. I don't know if that's a character or just a random art, but I really liked it, so I had to get it. All the American Gods art is fantastic. It's very similar to Sandman. Neil Gaiman has a very clear vision of what art appeals to him and matches his writing. So he picks. I gotta move this up a little bit. He picks artists that appeal to him and his needs, obviously, because that's what you should do. Okay, mic's up a little higher. I don't have to slouch. Sitting slouched, especially in a shitty chair, is not good for you. Okay, next is Tomb Raider Inferno. Number 1. I figured I'd pick this up, give it a try. Most of the video game comic books are decent, except for the Assassin's Creed ones. Don't really like those. This is number 1 of 4. This is pretty short, only a couple months. Just like Dark Souls, Bloodborne, they're all super short. But the interior art's pretty cool. Very stylistic. Sorry, I hit the mic. Hi, pup. Okay, I gotta show the pup. She just burped. Boobs triangular, probably not. She's gotten nerfed. Her boobs have gotten nerfed lately. I wanted to do this with a mint in my mouth, but I got too greedy and ate the mint. Nova's right here. She's bugging me. She's trying to push me. I don't want to pet you. Okay, I'll pet you. She's gonna try and climb on my lap. No, there's no room for you. Cute. Okay, next. This is the actual cover for Magic Order number 1. The best way I can describe this book. This is actually only gonna be 6-part series. It's from Image. It's Mark Miller, which is pretty good. But it's like adult Harry Potter. They're just like this kind of family or cult of magicians who can do actual magic that are like saving the world behind the scenes. So it's kind of like Harry Potter, but more grown up, more R-rated. It's actually really good. I wasn't so. Everyone on the internet was like, "Oh my god, this book's gonna be amazing," and I was like, "Come on, it can't be that good." But it was that good. Okay. Next, we have a book I'm not quite sure why I keep getting. Monstrous. This issue 17. I think Nova might have to go outside. She hasn't been out since we got home. Maybe I'll take her out on my break. The series, I know very, very little about. It's very, sci-fi, very, folklorish. It's got an all-female cast. It's pretty interesting. Next we have Oblivion Song, number 4. said before, this Kirkman's new book. We've talked about it before. Apparently Nathan is gonna find another group of survivors that doesn't want to leave the affected Philadelphia area. It's pretty neat. A new #1 this week from Image. It's actually Image Skybound or whatever. Stellar. It's pretty good. Stellar is this chick's name. We kind of get the feeling that she's an alien. She's pretty powerful, and she's done something in her past that we're gonna learn and figure out, and she's not proud of it, so she's gotta reconcile for it, Kind of one of those tropes. It seems okay. We'll see how it goes. Classic #1. We gotta wait a month to see if it's good, because you can't really judge it by #1. Weatherman. Another new #1 from Image. Didn't get a chance to read it. Seems okay. Seems okay based on this cover. This is kind of raining blood. The sign says "Welcome to Mars." His smug face. He's like almost like a Voltec salesman. Selling you property on Mars. Because you need it. Next up, Domino #3. I kind of wish that they would have made the movie Domino a bit more like this Domino. This Domino's very classic mercenary kind of deal. But maybe the next Deadpool movie will get some more backstory on Domino, because she's like the only one of the X-Force that actually lives. Besides Deadpool, Cable. I'm hoping for a Cable movie. That'd be gas. Next up is The Hunt for Wolverine. Another one of these weekly Hunt for Wolverine books. The Adamantium Agenda. These are way too much for me to keep up with, so I'm gonna wait until it's all over and then power through them all. And hope that it's good. Which is, Wolverine's back, and these are all like, Wolverine's not back yet. Buy this book, because we're gonna figure out where Wolverine is and how he came back, and that type of thing. I'd rather just read it all at once. Same with this Infinity Countdown stuff. It's Infinity Countdown Darkhawk #2. These also have weekly books. A new series each week. Not a new series, but a different series. This is actually going to lead into the Infinity Wars comic book. That bird. Next up, Quicksilver #2. The first one I was not a big fan of, so I'm gonna give this one a try and then probably just take it off my sub. I really like the Avengers No Surrender, and this I think is just trying to ride the coattails. It's monthly, it's 12 issues. So in a year they're still gonna be talking about events that happened or that ended 2 months ago or 3 months ago. Not really my kind of thing. It's Quicksilver. I'm not really a big fan of Quicksilver. This book, oh god. Just noticed that it's like, the white cover is like fucked. That's okay, it's just a fucking dope cover. This is Darth Vader #17. The Galactic Icons variant. It's Darth Maul. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen Han Solo, or the Solo movie, which I haven't, but I know the spoiler. Darth appearance at the end. They say that he's gonna be part of the Kenobi movie. So, Darth Maul's fucking dope. If I had to pick a favorite Star Wars character, it would be Darth Maul. And I don't actually read the Darth Vader comic book. Just kind of had to have that variant. On new number 1 for Marvel this week is Thor number 1. Also, Thor number 707. Because that makes sense. I couldn't get through this book. I tried to read this book. The art style was a bit too niche for me. It was not my cup of tea, and I like a lot of different kinds of art, but some doesn't really appeal to me, and some I can't get past in terms of story, and I just couldn't get past the art in this, so I'd say give it a try. But if you're not a big fan of stylistic art, probably don't pick it up. Venom number 2. I'm so excited to read this book. I've not been excited about Venom in a long time. Older manga art is so hard for you to enjoy. It's very cliche. It all looks the same. Everyone looks the same. It's very quick and non-detailed. Old manga's very different. The last Venom book, not Venom number 1, but the previous volume, was terrible. Like last year's Venom was actually terrible. This is phenomenal. It's actually Venom being scary and kind of an anti-hero like he's supposed to be. Well, I mean, he's supposed to be a villain, but I don't like him as a villain. Because villains don't stay around for very long. Next up, we have the Young Guns variant. What's going on with the cover? For Venom, you can see it's kind of like he's drowning in the symbiote. This is Venom's head over here, and this is Eddie Brock's hand, like coming out. This is like a river of symbiote. This white thing is supposed to be the spider on his chest, kind of almost forming like a wave. So it's like he's drowning in the symbiote because the symbiote in the story is actually like not reacting to him. It's turning crazy. It's an interesting read. So this is the Young Guns variant for that same Venom number 2. This is, while gross, awesome. This is a Venom cover. It's like trying to imitate Spider-Man in like a very creepy Venom way. Just using his tongue. So much black in the light makes it just, yeah, it's tough. It's a hardcover. This Baby Teeth number 11. I am super far behind on this series. I think I've only read up to like number 4. But it's Donny Cates, the same guy who's writing Venom, and it's fantastic. So I gotta get caught up. Oh, okay. So, this is Coda number 2. Coda was the one about the dude who rides his Pegasus with 5, or no, his Pentacorn unicorn with 5 mix and match cover. So that's the main dude. We still don't know his name. So for every copy of this book that you buy through the distributor, there's a chance that they just give you this cover instead. And the chance is like 33% or something like that. Some like dumb number that they just like made up. But our store ordered 6 of this regular cover, and we only got 2 of these. So we got 4 of the one cover and 2 of the other cover. And I made sure I got both because that's kind of cool, and they're doing it for the next couple as well. It's this kind of like, you might get this other cover, you might not, so you might have to go to a different store to see if they got it. It's kind of cool. I like that idea. I only picked this up because this artist, I forget her name, Mayor or something. This artist reminds me a lot of Fiona Staples, so I want to start collecting this person's art as well. Every time I see her art, I'm like, is that a Fiona Staples cover? And I look at the name, it's not her, it's this other person. But this is Nancy Drew #1. Apparently this is like Nancy Drew for like young adult women, as opposed to like young women, like the original Nancy Drew stuff. I didn't get a chance to read it, so I don't know how true that is. But I just want it because the covers, because the art is very much like Fiona Staples. And I want Fiona Staples arts. Can I get 2 more shark boxes? Why? Because I have fucking bags everywhere. That's actually next week's. Or this is to be going through today. I didn't know I have more bags. Too many comics. Okay, last book for this week. This is A Walk Through Hell, #2. This is Garth Ennis, and this was the book where the first one, a set of agents went into a warehouse, and they didn't come back out, so they sent a SWAT team in after them, and in like 20 seconds the SWAT team came back out and refused to go back in, saying that they had an overwhelming feeling of dread, and then they all sat in the SWAT truck and shot each other. They killed themselves because whatever was inside there was too tough to deal with, and they were like, here he comes, he's coming, we gotta die. And it was pretty fucked. So I wanna read that one, see exactly what's going on in this warehouse. Okay, actually I'm gonna move this bag up because that's today's books. Yeah, tomorrow I'll bring she's gonna push that thing over. Okay, anyway. Next, we have Shanghai Red, #1. New image #1 this week. From what I could tell, just kind of flipping through it, it seemed like it took place in like the 1800s or early 1900s or something like that. It didn't have anything to do with like pirates or anything, like I thought. It's more just troubles at sea, I think. There's some like shark fins down here. Big sailboat, not sure. Oh, where's the Batman? There it is. This week, one more issue. This is Batman, the Best Man, #49. Don't mess with Catwoman on her wedding day. Her versus the Joker, I guess. Next up, the cover B. This is probably my favorite cover this week. Batman Catwoman. Issue 49, obviously. This is the cover B by Artgerm. All of his covers are fantastic. This one's sweet. I wonder what's gonna happen on the wedding issue. They're not gonna get married. Something's gonna happen. Or, yeah, Bruce can't really be happy. It's like not in him to be happy. Alright, we have, this is the, what's it called? Young Guns. Cold Tricks, what's going on? This is the Young Guns variant for Amazing Spider-Man 801. 801 was kind of a lackluster ending to Amazing Spider-Man. It was like a feel-good ending. It was like a Spider-Man's always going to be around to save the day kind of ending. Which is kind of a weak send-off for the writer who's been writing Spider-Man for the last 10 years. He's done with Spider-Man. He's going to move on to something else. It was kind of weak. But it's an enjoyable, quick read. So why not? Typically I don't read this book. This is actually X-Men Gold #30. This is the finale of the Till Death Do Us Part, or the wedding between Kitty Pryde and Colossus. The New York Times and Marvel have both talked about this, so I think it's okay if I talk about it. But Kitty Pryde and Colossus actually call off the wedding. They realize, or Kitty Pryde remembers like their history and remembers that they're like not compatible, so they don't get married. But someone gets married. Two people get married in this issue, and it was Gambit and Rogue, which is pretty weird. It's like finally, you guys are finally together. And then in the back of the book, they announced that there's going to be a book called Mr. and Mrs. That's Rogue and Gambit. It should be I don't know if it's going to be like a silly book or a serious book or whatever, but it should be fun. I like Gambit. He's cool. I got this Harley Quinn #44 variant because it's got a wiener dog, and we have a wiener dog here. It's a cutie. I don't normally read Harley. I don't read Aquaman, but this is Aquaman #37. Just another cool variant. I can't remember the artist, but it uses a lot of negative space, which is kind of cool. It's a nice art style. Not too far off from Fiona Staples too. Next up, part 4 of the prelude to the wedding for Batman. This is Red Hood versus Anarchy. What's he say? It says you crashed the wrong party. Jerk face. Jerk face. Who says that in comic books? I guess Red Hood. Oh, this cover's sweet. This is actually a panel from Venom his symbiote kind of just like stops responding to him. It's like some old god nonsense that we're not too sure about yet. Some like ancient thing has awoken in him, and it's kind of scary. Next up, we have the variant cover. This book I do read, just like 8 issues behind, you know. It's the Batwoman 16 variant cover, very striking cover. You know, Batman, them fighting over the whole Clayface shit. Still, in the end of this, she kind of like has this moral dilemma where she needs to pick either her family, who is a crazy twin sister who is now rehabilitated. She was a villain, or the Batman family, the Bat family, and she chooses family, like her regular family or sister. But it's a sweet cover. All the Batwoman variants have been fantastic. These books they're at the bottom of the pile. I just grabbed whatever I grabbed. There's still some more, but this is the first print of Deadpool Back in Black. This is an interesting book. It didn't come out this week. It came out a long time ago. Can you not choose your bad family? Sounds way cooler. I agree. Not your twin sister that tried to kill you, you know. Nah, choose Batman. You got Batman, you got Robin, you got Nightwing, you got Batgirl, you got Huntress, a million other people. The Signal. There's like 30 more, something like that. I don't know exactly how many, but so this is the story of how apparently Deadpool had the Venom symbiote before Spider-Man. So I don't know, I haven't read it. I want to read it. So here Deadpool is in number 2, swinging around like Spider-Man. It's actually got the same kind of like the same font almost as the profile picture for Avex. Everyone has a real family, not everyone has a bad fam, yeah. You got a day family and you've got a night family. And then this is just the newest trade for Batman Detective Comics. It's got a striking Batwoman cover, that's pretty much why I got it. And I want to read it, you know. This is where Batwoman, she's got a gun. And they're like, no, don't do it. And she shoots Clayface. I didn't actually get a chance to read this. And my single issues are kind of all over the fucking place. So, it's got Batwoman on the cover. Yeah, why not? Speaking of Batwoman, hey Dangles, what's up? I'm doing great. How are you? This is the actual cover, the cover A for Batwoman 16. I think I like this Batwoman a little bit better than the other cover, because that cover is very stylistic. This is very classic. Classic Batman, classic Batwoman. Lots of black and red. This is a book I keep buying because I want it to be so much better than it is. But it never will be. This is Cable number 158. Cable's like my dude, you know? But this book, it started off real strong. He's just like time traveling everywhere, killing people, being a mercenary. Going back to like feudal Japan and like fighting samurais that have like technology technology far beyond what they should, and figure out why and how, where's all this shit coming from. This new stuff, I don't know, the art has gotten super lazy. The writing is super lazy. It's like they know that the book isn't selling well, but they need to have a Cable book because Cable's in the Deadpool movie. So they're just like trying to pump out anything that they can, and it shows. Next is another Hunt for Wolverine. Just ended up buying New Book of Comics #1 for a steal. New Book of Comics #1. What does that mean? Which book? This is Closet Killer #3, #2. Marvel being Marvel. Chicho, hey, what's up? Yeah, Marvel being Marvel. Long time no see, man. How you been? So these are the, for 3 months, the 4 different titles of Hunt for Wolverine every week. And we talked about already from last week the Adamantium Agenda. And same thing again with these Infinity Countdowns. This is actually the Champions. Infinity Countdown Champions #1. This is only going to be a 2-part series. Looks like we've got Iron Man, Miss Marvel, the Wasp, Nova. Nova's laying on the ground. She's tired. She doesn't even want pets. And then I don't know who this chick is. This green-haired chick. I don't read Champions, so I don't know. That's the name of the comic. New Book of Comics. It was published in 1936. Interesting. Let me, I've never heard of that. Gotta do a little bit of research. New Book of Comics #1. I found one from 1937 with a cool, like yellow and red cover. That's pretty sweet. It's like very classic. Like that's what covers look like, you know. Been saving up for quite a while. If you don't mind, what was it stickered at? You don't have to tell me what you paid for it, but what was it stickered at? Spider-Gwen. Sorry about that. This is Spider-Gwen #33. This book also has been kind of lackluster. The arc where Spider-Gwen gets the Venom symbiote was really strong and really solid, but they're trying to find a way to wrap this up, but they just haven't. And I think it's got like 2 more books. I think it goes till 35. They've announced that it's ending, but 10K. That book was stickered at 10K. Holy shit. That's too much, man. But Spider-Gwen, you know, Spider-Gwen is good and bad. It has its ups and downs all throughout its time being around. Next, Weapon H #4. Pretty striking cover. We've got Weapon H versus the Man-Thing. Burn at the touch of the Man-Thing, not to be confused with Swamp Thing. That's a DC title. Man-Thing is completely different. Also lives in the green and swamps and controls nature. You're getting here for 7,000. Been wanting it for a while. Did you trade or did you just straight up buy it? I mean, if you've been saving up for a while, like, I'm glad that you got. Was that your holy grail of comic books? Next up, this cover is fantastic. I still have no idea what's going on in this book. I read #1. I didn't play through the games. I didn't finish Dark Souls #1, but this is Dark Souls, The Age of Fire, cover #2, cover A. It's kind of got this like blue and purple like fairy dragon on the front. I don't know if this was like a boss in the game, but I read the first one. It was interesting. I just wish that I would use acrylic paint on your dragon. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, in August, we're going to be getting some Dungeons and Dragons putting out a new, like, painting your figure starter set with, like, brushes and paints and stuff and some figures. But it's made by Dungeons and Dragons, so we'll be able to get it in. I can't wait for that. I was looking at, like, figures and stuff for our campaign today. Next up, a new Rick and Morty #1. Definitely like real comic. Nice, nice, nice. I don't know. Mine, I guess, is probably Detective 259. No, not 259. It's 259. I don't even know it. I get so many keys mixed up. Is that Batgirl? I don't want it to be Batgirl. It's not Batgirl. It's not even a book. I can't even remember. $233. Okay. I was thinking like 129 with Punisher. Yeah, the Punisher. I was thinking fucking Batgirl, but it's 233. It's not like super expensive. You can find Detective Comics 233 for like $100, 150 in good condition. Tiefling options, I gave I spelled that right. I'm not sure. I asked my distributor for a list of characters that they have, like figures, and I found some tieflings, but I'll have to get a list for you. So 233 is the first appearance of Batwoman. It's Catherine Kane, not Kate Kane. Catherine Kane is the original Batwoman. She's not a lesbian or anything like that. She's not like emotional. The modern Batwoman is very different from the original one, and I just want the original one because Batwoman. And the only other book that I would want to own is Saga 1, which I already own. So I already got that checked off. I've got my Amazing Spider-Man 300, the rarest comic I own. Probably, it's really new actually, but it's the Thanks variant. It's a store exclusive. Every store that opted in, that got enough of the Spawn 150 or 250, it was 250, got this special variant that was a cover swipe of Amazing Spider-Man 300, but instead of like a number on it, it said like THX or TNX or something like that for thanks, because it was a thank you to retailers for having Image Comics. It's just a book I've never seen on a shelf anywhere, like on the wall or in back issues. Obviously not back issues, but I've only ever seen a couple on eBay. And it's, I got it like a year and a half ago, the week it came out. I don't have too much in the way of old books. I have Sandman 1, but that's not that rare. I have Hellblazer 1, but that's not that rare. Other than that, I really don't have too much in the way of old stuff. I want some Golden Age superhero stuff, but it's all very expensive. So this is Grumpopolis Michael, Rick and Morty #1. This is pretty great. I'm excited to read this. So like I said, I haven't read 2 weeks worth of comics because I was away on vacation, and I didn't get a chance to read this week's books. You can see Rick and Morty are in the back here. That's pretty good. Where do you get your comic? From my comic store, the one that I manage. It's called Tales of Adventure in Pennsylvania. It's the biggest comic book store I guess this book, they said that it was like a Stranger Things. These kids are like exploring like city tunnels and train tunnels, or like the subway, and they find like a lost city, and they have to deal with the drama that is involved with that. I guess it's an aftershock book, so I'm sure I'll like it. I like all the independent, not horror, but like suspenseful, mysterious horror, psychological books. This is the cover A for Amazing 60 or Amazing 801. Spidey's kind of like surfing on everyone. We've kind of got a whole cast of characters here. Not sure if we're supposed to be able to make out who these people are, but they're all different. Just don't know who they are. Some of them, like there's a father and a daughter here. They appear in the book. I did get a chance to read that one. That was okay. It was okay. It was kind of a weak send-off, I think, for Dan Slott, who's been on Spider-Man for 10 years. Next up, is she crying blood? I don't know. This is Skyward number 3. Again, this is the book where gravity is kind of almost non-existent. It's like 30% of what it is currently. So everyone just like flies around everywhere. They just like jump, and everything's okay. I never saw that the A is actually up higher than all the other letters, because low gravity. So these two books, not quite sure what I'm supposed to do with these, because the ash cans, we've talked about ash cans before, I've shown some. They're like the previews of books that are going to come out in like a month or 2 months. They're very tiny, they're black and white most of the time, and they're just a couple pages of a book that's going to come out. In the case of the Doomsday Clock one, it doesn't even have words. It's just the pictures. Sometimes those can be very expensive in terms of like hundreds of dollars. The Doomsday Clock one I think is about $100 right now. That's the most expensive one that I can think of off the top of my head. Just because I haven't been dealing with ash cans for very long, maybe like 2 years. So I've only seen a handful. These books are from DC. It's called, this one is called DC Zoom. Spring Summer 2019 Sampler. So in it, it's got, stories, previews of stories that are in full color. But they're like, this one at least is all, it seems like young adult or kids books. It says DC Books for Young Readers, DC Zoom, and then DC Ink, this one. So as I accidentally muted the YouTube video. As the manager of the store, I have to read this stuff so I can tell people and inform people when they come in. So I can, I have to be a salesman. I have to pitch this stuff. If people have kids, I have to tell them like, someone might come in and be like, oh yeah, I have a son that's this old. What can he read? And I'll be like, okay, these books. Oh, I have a daughter that's this old. Okay, these books. So DC Zoom, this one says that it's for ages 8 to 12. Super Sons in it. DC Superhero Girls, Superman of Smallville, Dear Justice League, Batman Overdrive, and Black Canary Ignite. So this is from ages 8 to 12. There's a couple different previews here. Different art styles, different writers, different, artists. This DC Ink one. It's, actually, it has a Raven book in it, which I might buy. It says it's for ages 13 plus, so I am older than 13, so I'm allowed to read that book, okay? You don't need to judge me. Stop judging me. This book is made for 15-year-olds. I'm gonna read it, because it's fucking Raven. So it's got Mara, Tidebreaker, Under the Moon, A Catwoman Tale, Harley Quinn Breaking Glass, Teen Titans Raven, and Batman Nightwalker. Not sure exactly what that means. But they don't preview everything in these books. They give you a sample of a couple of them. And they're only like, 6 pages of the book. And each book's gonna be probably the typical comic book 32 pages. Just got information in the back. I don't know what to do with them, so I don't know if these are gonna increase in value or if these are going to not really matter because no one really cares. But that in itself will create an inherent value because if something is low supply and low demand like this, it could increase over time. Comic book financials are super weird when talking about predictions. And I just don't know if I should treat this carefully or, give it to our friend's 4-year-old to read because it has DC Superhero Girls in it, Like, is this a $50 mistake in a year, It seems dumb, but it's the kind of thing that I think about. Okay, back to books. This is Justice League number 2, New Justice. Into the Totality. So, in the last Justice League, this thing was racing towards Earth, and we weren't sure what it was. And everyone's like, well, it came from the outside the source wall. And the only other things to come from outside the source wall so far were these, world-eating celestial giant things that we destroyed. So, Martian Manhunter's like, okay, we can either let it hit Earth and see what happens, or we can try and sacrifice someone and annihilate it, or whatever, or try to figure out an alternate solution. They ran out of time and it hit the Earth, so now we get to see what happens when it hit the Earth. This is all girl. Got the Flash. Got it is proper Wonder Woman. Superman, Batman. Agent Wick. I cannot actually. We've got it's John Stewart actually. Green Lantern John Stewart. He showed up again for some reason. In the last Justice League. I don't know why he's still around. I'm not up on the Green Lantern Corps or the Al Jordan books. So I don't know if he has made an appearance. I don't know too much about the Green Lantern lore. I don't know if he's a time traveler now, Who knows? New Challengers. Number 2. I think I'm going to stop holding this book. It's just another mediocre team that they say is from Metal, Dark Knight's Metal, but you never see. It's only going to be 5 books, so maybe I'll keep it and then just read it all at once, I don't know. I'll read this one, give it a chance. Number 1 was pretty mediocre, but it is what it is. This cover's great. I'm excited to break into this one. It's Delta 13 asteroid, they discover that it has like kind of cheese holes in it. So they go into one of the tunnels, and in the inside, in the heart of this asteroid, in the middle of the asteroid belt, in space, they detect some kind of heat signature, and that was where the book left us off. They also found a structure that was definitely not naturally formed, and I really like sci-fi. I really like space stuff. I really like mysteries. So it's definitely my kind of book. IDW and Aftershock have been fucking killing it lately. Their books have been phenomenal. It's kind of a gruesome cover, but that's kind of what this book's all about. Days of Hate, number 6 of 12. I've actually been waiting for this book to come out so I can catch up. I'm only at issue 2 or 3. Obviously, Days of Hate. This book tackles some kind of topical political stuff. And we're halfway through, so I'm gonna read, the half, and then wait till the second half and read the second half. I can't for the life of me remember which issue this is, but it's not a book that I normally read. I just got this for the cover. This is Curse Words. I want to say it's number 22. I could be wrong. But this is another one of those, it could be a Pride Month variant. I don't know. There haven't been any variants this year marketed as Pride Months. Like last year we had Walking Dead and Redneck. They were like, these are the Pride Month variants. This year, nothing. And I don't read curse words, so I don't know if this has anything to do with curse words. It kind of looks like the Lantern Corps. But, yeah, I don't know. It's a sweet cover, it's a virgin cover, so obviously I love it. Again, we have another virgin cover. It's Flavor number 2. This book was interesting. It's about a family that has like a restaurant kind of business. I forget the setting. I read it, a month ago. I just liked it because it's a virgin cover. And it's a variant, it's a variant, obviously. I'm a big fan of variants. A lot of people, there's a big debate on if variants should still be a thing. Or how much is too much. I think in the case of Spider-Man 800, where there was like 45 variants, I think that's too much. Because, there's the 10 normal variants, then there's the exclusive, like 10 variants. Like, you have to buy 1,000 of this book to get one variant. So that variant's like, $2,000. Or the variants that are like, exclusive to this online store, or exclusive to this retailer store. Like, it gets too much. If it's just 1 or 2 variants, like, that's fine. I think that's fine. Next up, Gideon Falls, number 4. This book I'm also very behind on. I'm behind on a lot. 2 weeks behind on books. Yeah, I got a lot of reading to do. This is Lemire, right? Yeah, Jeff Lemire. A fantastic writer. This image book is an image horror book. It's a psychological horror, right up my alley. And we've talked about it for 4 months. This is this is what I'm talking about, variants. If it's like 1 variant, 2 variants is pretty good. This is the creepiest cover. It's the B cover for Gideon Falls number 4. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but it's fucking great. It's fantastic. It's kind of it feels like, there's a character. It honestly reminds me of The Mask. Or this face, this part, reminds me of a Bleach character. A Mask from that show. This is a much anticipated book. I don't understand. I don't know if they're there was supposed to be a variant for this book or not, but this Infidel number 4. This is the last book in the series, and I can finally finish the series. It's got some like creepy guys in the windows. You know, it's supposed to be her head because she's like kind of going crazy living in this house with a mother-in-law that is against Muslims, and she's Muslim. So she's like, you know, got this like internal dilemma, and she sees like literal monsters and tries to stab one of them, and it turns out to be the mom. And like she's got to deal with that, and it's really good psychological horror stuff that really makes you think. It's nice. We have another variant for Spidey 801. It's just a classic Spidey cover. I think I like this more than the red one of him like surfing on all the people. This looks like Spider-Man more so than the other one. His eyes are super big too, like McFarlane. It's pretty great. Our last book of the week. This, I believe, is the Infinity Countdown Black Widow book that came out, which I don't think was in here. I'm gonna have to go get that. I'm supposed to be getting all of the Infinity Countdown stuff. Normally, I pull all the books for all the subscribers every week, but this past week, or yesterday, my boss did it, and of course he fucked it up, so I'm gonna have to go yell at him and tell him that I don't have all my books. But this is the Young Guns variant for it. It's pretty cool. It's got, you know, the Black Widow, and it's like the pseudo version. There's no title. There's no barcode or anything like that. It's a sweet book. And Black Widow in the comic books is actually pretty fucking badass. I mean, I guess she's in the movies too, but I don't like the comic books better. Star Manage, have a website. We don't have a comic book website. We have a Facebook. We have a website for Magic the Gathering cards, but that's it. Okay, I'm gonna put these books back. The stack is like huge. There's a lot of books every week. I gotta read them all. Otherwise, I get too far behind, and then I don't know what's going on, and then I can't sell them to people. Hope everyone's having a great day. And for anyone still awake and alive on YouTube, I want to thank you for watching. Appreciate you. I think soon I'm gonna be doing. So I haven't decided what exactly I'm gonna do with ASMR in terms of YouTube. I want YouTube exclusive content, but I don't really ever have the time to do it. You might think because a video might be 20 or 30 minutes long that you know, it might take 10 minutes to upload it, 30 minutes to record it, that's it. But no, there's actually a lot more time and planning and effort that has to go into it. So I don't know. I just have to find time. I've actually been thinking about starting a Patreon. I don't think many people would subscribe to it, but it would be nice to help get the ASMR stuff going on YouTube. I do like ASMR on Twitch, but yeah, I want YouTube exclusive content. I don't just want my YouTube to be solely rebroadcasts of Twitch. I mean, that's okay, but I want fresh comics, or fresh content. Okay, that's gonna do it for comics for this evening. I'm actually going to take a quick break. We've been streaming for about an hour and a half, hour 23 minutes. I'll take a quick break. I'll be back in about 2-3 minutes. Stand up stretch.